Hello. It gives us immense pleasure to present our work briefly on theoretical and experimental validation of Lipschitz adaptive learning rate in regression and neural networks. I am Snehanshu Saha, and my co-authors in this work are Tejas Prasant, Suraj, Sumed, Dr. Sudarshan, and Dr. Dawala. So the idea of using neural networks for regression is nothing new, but what is sort of counterintuitive is using different sort of loss functions which are not commonly used. Okay, and when we dealt with these kind of loss functions, we also wanted to see by using shallow neural networks whether we can converge to appreciable performance metrics in very few number of iterations. So the whole idea is to propose adaptive learning rates for these kind of loss functions. Okay, now we all know the success of deep neural networks in computer vision and natural language processing is transformational. So deep neural networks still suffer from variety of problems, and some of the criticisms against the deep neural nets are they can make confident mistakes due to the opaque nature with respect to explainability, and making deep neural networks reliable and explainable simultaneously are the new research frontiers. So in this particular work, we argue that the quantile regression can be used to provide prediction intervals, which is one of the ways of quantifying uncertainty in prediction. In the context of deep neural networks, the quantile regression models can be fit by minimizing the check loss function, and moreover, the number of independent regression models that are fit is equivalent to the number of quantiles desired. While one may look for a more efficient architecture to fit all the quantiles simultaneously, fitting multiple independent regression models is a simple alternative. If you are able to speed up convergence, then the process of fitting all quantiles independently can be done in nearly the same amount of a time than a typical regression model takes to provide point estimates. So in this particular regard, we propose and investigate adaptive learning rates for check loss, whose special case is the mean absolute error for estimates the conditional medians. Okay, so I mean, you all know that the check loss is usually something that is not used in deep neural networks. Usually mean square error and binary cross entropy and cross entropy. These are the sort of usual loss functions that are used. Okay, on top of that, we also wanted to avoid tuning the learning rate. Okay, so therefore, I mean, we wanted to extend our previous idea of using computed adaptive learning rates, which we have used for mean square error and binary cross entropy, and extend this to mean absolute error and check loss functions. Okay, the idea is that we leverage Lipschitz continuous functions, which mean absolute errors are, except for one point of singularity. And I mean, you can deal with functions with either you can deal with a uniformly continuous function, or you can deal with a function with a finite number of discontinuities, which mean absolute error is. Okay, all right. So therefore, one of the ways to propose and investigate the effectiveness of the approach is that you take a look at single and multi-level multivariate regression models, including quantile regression, and use the Lipschitz adaptive learning rate, can compute the Lipschitz adaptive learning rate for check loss functions using neural networks, and evaluate the effectiveness of the framework against regression-based data sets. Okay. And Lipschitz adaptive learning rates are something which is basically a contraction model provided by the Lipschitz constant, and it is the Lipschitz constant which when you invert, you actually get the learning rate. And in a deep neural network, you know that the gradients get progressively smaller and smaller and smaller. So use a sup or a max function of the gradient with respect to the weights to compute the Lipschitz constant. And if you do that, it is possible to show that your algorithm converges in a finite number of iterations. Okay, and that's the whole point of using the reciprocal of the Lipschitz constant as the learning rate. Once you set this, and that's it. I mean, it will be auto adjusted and auto computed in every iteration, and you really do not need to keep a tab on the learning rate, and there is no need to manually tune the learning rate as well. Okay. All right, this also ensures, I mean, if you do this inverse of the Lipschitz constant, it also ensures that your weight changes are constrained between 0 and 1. Okay. All right. So with this, I mean, and there are some standard notations which I will, I mean, if you read the paper, you will know. I mean, we denote the activation function at with a superscript to denote that the layer number, right, and so on and so forth. And we also use weight change notations between layers. Okay, all right, and we indicate the batch size and the number of predicted output values in a multivariate regression. All right. And with this, I mean, computing the Lipschitz constant is sort of tricky for mean absolute error. But I mean, what you can do is you can actually split the loss function into multiple intervals and compute it, and then use an epsilon smoothing around the point of discontinuity to figure out the composite Lipschitz constant. And what happens is, for mean absolute error, the Lipschitz constant for using the neural network for multi-output multi-regression model is nothing but kz by mn, where m is the batch size as mentioned earlier. Okay, all right. And for the quantile or check loss function, it is given by something which you have seen here. Okay, and the quantile plays an important role in the Lipschitz constant. You invert this Lipschitz constant at the learning rate. So the data sets that we have used are California housing, Boston housing, and energy efficiency data sets. Okay, what we did for our comparison statistics is we compared our Lipschitz adaptive learning rates with fixed learning rate of 0.1. Okay, with the same weight initialization. As a number of metrics, we considered number of epochs and performance, right, which is nothing but a loss. And the architecture, typically when we started, we restricted this to a shallow neural network with 1 or 2 hidden layers, and we used ReLU as an activation function in the hidden layers and SoftSign as the output activation unit, and we normalized the data. So what you can see is, in terms of number of epochs, the Lipschitz adaptive learning rate performs way better. I mean like hundreds and thousands of times better than the constant learning rate. And that is the hallmark of this particular approach, that you typically tend to achieve this. At the same time, we are also gaining pretty good accuracy, most of the times better than the fixed learning rate. So you can see the loss, right? Okay, so this is just for the mean absolute, and you can see how quickly the Lipschitz adaptive learning rate actually converges. Okay, it's almost a smooth function which you do not expect with the mean absolute error, but because the way it is computed, okay, I mean, you can see a small wobble here and there, and that is because of the finite discontinuity. Otherwise, it's a smooth, monotonically decreasing loss function. Okay, all right. Now, we can do this for multiple data sets. I'll just quickly go through. I mean, you have the time to go through the presentation later and read the paper and know all the results. But we also applied this on a dense network, right? Just to show if the network is sufficiently deep, whether the approach works or not. It does, and it is once again beating the constant loss and constant learning rate. And once again, you can see for a quantile loss, I mean, we are, in terms of epochs, we are actually performing far better, and in terms of loss also, we are actually better than the constant learning. Okay, all right. So so the whole idea is, if you use a mean absolute error, you can see a 5 to 20 times increase in speed of convergence, and that is because of the adaptive learning rate. You actually are spending no time. There is no bookmarking for tuning the learning rates, right? You are not manually tuning it, it is auto computed. And if you really run the code, you will see that when we start, the learning rate usually is a very large number, but it quickly falls down and rapidly converges. Okay, and for quantile loss, we observe on an average about 20 times in terms of speed of convergence when you compare with the constant learning rate. Okay, and the decay from a very large learning rate to begin with to ultimately when it converges, the decay is actually a very natural and a smooth decay. Okay, all right. So overall, that's what we wanted to say. So if I have to summarize in one sentence, it is actually a theoretically computed counterintuitive strategy of learning, and training deep neural nets. Okay, and where the common wisdom is to use certain loss functions, but we have used a different loss function.